a samurai, bound to uphold a code. To live, fight, and die with honor.
The absolutely beautiful open-world samurai better Assassin's Creed game Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorite games I have ever played in my life, for the simple fact that the combat is literally everything that I have ever wanted. It's realistic, brutal and gory, the world itself is full of exquisite details, lore, and it also has a traditional realistic style in respect of Japan. And the story is awesome. It made its mark on my mind and I've been a fan ever since. Now we know with almost 100% certainty that a Ghost of Tsushima sequel is in the works as we speak. Sucker Punch gave a whole lot of teasers over the past years about this sequel, and we've also got new rumors and leaks saying this new game is already far in development as well as more details. Finally, we can talk about this franchise once more. I was so happy to hear that there are chances of it having a much more ambitious sequel. It's definitely coming. Sucker Punch is definitely working on it and we've got quite a lot to get into here, so let's start right away. First of all, to most hardcore Ghost of Tsushima fans, it was no surprise to hear about a leak 2 years ago that told Ghost of Tsushima 2 was in the works, thanks to industry insiders. It seemed Sucker Punch started working on the sequel right after the first one released, as they saw the huge positive attention it received and how much of a success it was, financially for them and Sony. Funnily enough, at about the same time of the leak, a new job listing appeared for a new narrative writer at Sucker Punch for the new game that they are working on. The person need to have a desire to write stories set in feudal Japan, and knowledge of feudal Japanese history. I mean, you couldn't be more straightforward. If it isn't a Ghost of Tsushima sequel, then I don't know what it is. Literally a whole year later in 2022, we've had another job listing that was looking for someone who can deliver interesting and varied encounters in an open world game with beautiful varied locations with a particular focus on melee combat and stealth. They also wanted a technical gameplay designer that will help create gameplay systems to explain interactions with NPCs and the environment. In other words, Sucker Punch Production is working on an open world stealth game with melee combat with a varied open world. That already pretty much sounds like Ghost of Tsushima 2. If it indeed is, Sucker Punch is looking to make the open world of the sequel much more alive and lived in, with extended NPC interactions where you can probably have multiple conversations with them and help them on a mission and things like that. It might also expand on the random events happening throughout the world, similar to Red Dead Redemption 2, where something always happens in the open world and it evolves with you, like a family that was constructing a house. It just evolved over time. It was really good. Oh, other recent job listing at the studio mentioned the team is also seeking applicants who are familiar with the systems of its previous game. Again, hinting at Ghost of Tsushima 2, because Sucker Punch that this game is the first Ghost of Tsushima. They also want a successful candidate that will have a passion for building robust, dynamic missions that provide fresh challenges and excitement for rookies and veterans alike. They recognize how game design choices impact social dynamics and leverage them to enable great cooperative experience for all players. So maybe here they're hinting at some kind of co-op mode or multiplayer mode for this sequel of Ghost of Tsushima. The developers are also hinting at a world or at the island that's way beyond Tsushima and that might be taking place in mainland Japan. So instead of Ghost of Tsushima, it would be called Ghost of Japan, but that's just a remark. But it is definitely, most definitely possible. It won't just stay on the same island for the second one, definitely. Now, if you didn't know about this, PlayStation itself shared a PS5 ad this year in which it featured many already released games like Spider-Man, God of War and so on, and all in a fun way. But at the end of the ad, for some reason, it went faster than usual and showed a glimpse at two scenes that didn't feel like any of the already released games. First, we have a quick glimpse at what seemed to be something new of The Last of Us or Uncharted, and then a quick glimpse at samurais raiding a village, which obviously referenced Ghost of Tsushima or maybe a sequel to it. The industry insider Tom Henderson from InsiderGaming.com came out a bit later and said that a lot of the PlayStation games are mostly ready to be shown and are waiting on a reveal. Hence, he said PlayStation needs a new showcase event ASAP to reveal what's been happening with the PlayStation partners, most definitely including Sucker Punch. If you'd like to see more news on this Ghost of Tsushima sequel, make sure you guys support the video and of course subscribe to stay tuned.